Most people think marriage is a fortress, an impenetrable shield against temptation. But here's the shocking reality. That wedding ring doesn't protect against the universal human need for connection, recognition, and emotional fulfillment. In fact, it's the emotional hunger growing silently in many marriages that makes some married women vulnerable in ways most people never discuss. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on why this happens and showing you exactly how to recognize these patterns before they destroy everything you've built. The great irony of marriage is that what begins with passion and connection often transforms into something entirely different. The silent killer of relationships isn't conflict, it's indifference. When partners stop truly seeing each other, an emotional vacuum forms. The late-night conversations, the stolen glances, the feeling of being seen, it's intoxicating, but over time, routine takes over. Deep conversations turn into logistical discussions about grocery lists and household chores. Women in particular have a deeply rooted need for emotional intimacy, not just physical presence. When daily life becomes an endless cycle of responsibilities, many married women start feeling invisible, despite being surrounded by family. Create one 15-minute window each day where phones are put away and you ask your partner one question beyond logistics. What made you smile today? Or what's been on your mind that I haven't asked about? Then genuinely listen to understand. The dopamine disconnect, why stability becomes a prison. Here's what they don't tell you at the wedding. Your brain is wired to crave novelty. Psychologists call this the Coolidge effect, the idea that familiarity often dampens desire, while newness triggers excitement. Think about it. Remember how it felt in the beginning? Everything was new. Every text made your heart race. Every look carried meaning. Then gradually, predictability replaces mystery. Security replaces adventure. I'm not saying stability is bad, it's essential. But when every day looks identical to the last, when interactions feel scripted, when nothing surprises anymore, that's when the brain starts subconsciously searching for something, anything that makes it feel alive again. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you felt truly excited in your relationship? When was the last time your heart raced with anticipation rather than anxiety? Create one unexpected moment each week. It doesn't have to be elaborate. Surprise your partner with their favorite coffee, leave a handwritten note, suggest an impromptu drive. Small interruptions to routine signal that your relationship hasn't become entirely predictable. The justification game, how the mind reframes reality. The mind will always find a way to justify what the heart has already decided. No one wakes up planning to betray their marriage. Instead, it happens through a series of small, almost imperceptible steps, each one justified in the moment. When emotional needs go unmet for extended periods, the brain creates rationales. It's just talking. There's nothing wrong with that. If my husband paid more attention to me, I wouldn't need this. I deserve to feel good again after everything I've sacrificed. This is where the danger truly begins. Because once a person believes their actions are justified, boundaries start to blur, and what once seemed unthinkable becomes rationalized as reasonable. Practice radical honesty with yourself. When you feel drawn to attention outside your relationship, don't judge yourself. Instead, view it as important information. Ask yourself, what need is this highlighting that isn't being addressed in my marriage? Then have the courage to communicate that need directly to your partner. The invisible affair, when emotional connection becomes the gateway. The first betrayal rarely happens physically. It happens emotionally. Late-night texts, deeper than normal conversations, sharing personal struggles with someone other than your spouse. What makes this so dangerous is the gray area. There's no clear line crossed, but emotional intimacy is powerful. Once emotional connection is established, physical boundaries become much easier to cross. Create a weekly check-in ritual where you each share one thing you appreciated about each other that week, one challenge you're facing, and one thing you're looking forward to together. This simple practice creates a consistent space for emotional connection. The identity crisis, when we overshadows me. Another overlooked reason some married women become vulnerable is social identity loss. After marriage, many women feel they're no longer an individual with separate dreams and passions. They become defined by their roles: wife, mother, caretaker. Before marriage, she was seen as multidimensional, someone with interests, opinions, ambitions. After marriage, especially after children, her identity can become consumed by what she does for others, rather than who she is as a person. When someone outside the marriage shows interest in her mind, her thoughts, her as an individual rather than a role, it can feel like oxygen after years of being unable to breathe. Encourage individual growth alongside your shared life. Support each other in maintaining personal interests, friendships, and goals that exist alongside your relationship, not in competition with it. The breaking point, when just this once becomes a pattern. The chains of habit are too weak to be felt until they are too strong to be broken. Every relationship has a point of no return, a moment where there's no more just talking, no more innocent flirting. The game becomes real. Romantic and sexual attraction activate the same brain pathways as addiction. Once someone experiences that high of new connection, walking away becomes increasingly difficult. Not because they don't love their spouse, but because they've convinced themselves they've found something they'll never get at home. Establish clear boundaries before they're tested. Have honest conversations about what constitutes crossing a line in your relationship. This isn't about control, it's about mutual agreement and respect. The power of Stoic wisdom, building resilience in relationships. So what does Stoicism teach us about navigating these dangerous waters? The ancient philosophy offers profound guidance. Focus on what you can control. Practice the discipline of perception. Remember that feelings aren't facts. Ask yourself, am I seeing my relationship clearly, or am I viewing it through emotions that might be distorting my perception? This creates space between stimulus and response, a core Stoic practice that changes everything. The courageously authentic relationship, your shield against vulnerability. The most powerful protection against outside threats isn't suspicion or control. It's creating a relationship so authentic, so deeply connected, that neither partner wants to look elsewhere. This doesn't happen by accident. It requires intention, courage, and commitment. Relationships that stand the test of time share these characteristics. They prioritize emotional intimacy alongside physical connection. They create space for both security and novelty. They allow for individual growth within the partnership. They address issues directly instead of letting resentment build. They continuously choose each other day after day. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Applied to relationships, this suggests that the best response to potential threats isn't paranoia. It's becoming the kind of partner who creates a connection others would never want to leave. Each day, ask yourself, how can I demonstrate to my partner that they are seen, heard, and valued? When connection fades, you have a choice. Turn toward each other or turn away. When emotional needs aren't being met, you have a choice. Communicate them directly or seek fulfillment elsewhere. When routine threatens to suffocate passion, you have a choice. Create new experiences together or find excitement outside your relationship. These aren't women's choices or men's choices. They're human choices, and they're choices that determine the direction of every relationship. So instead of fearing vulnerability, use it as a compass pointing toward what needs attention in your relationship. Instead of seeing emotional needs as weaknesses, recognize them as opportunities for deeper connection. Because in the end, the most powerful defense against temptation isn't distrust or control. It's creating a relationship so fulfilling that looking elsewhere never feels necessary. What choice will you make today to strengthen your relationship? What small step will you take to move closer rather than further apart? Let me know in the comments and subscribe for more Stoic advice to level up your life.